Welcome to the MPNFL Division 1 footy show from GameFace. It's wonderful to be here. It's the OK Not to Be OK edition of the footy show, and if you're having any issues, any problems, and you need to talk about them, make sure you talk about them, whether it be with your family, whether it be with your friends, whether it be with a doctor, because if you don't, it's not the way to go. You need to be honest with yourself and need to make sure that you get your problems out there. Everyone's out there to try and help as best they possibly can in a world that is changing all the time. So that's what the OK Not to Be OK edition of the footy show is all about, and that's what that message is all about. And I thought I'd mention that at the top of the show to make sure we get it out there, and we're promoting it all the time. Special guests today on the MPNFL Division 1 footy show, Corey McCarry from the inconsistent, I'll say that, Frankston Bombers. When they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're a little bit disappointing. But Corey can tell us about that very, very shortly. As well as Mick O'Neill from the Frankston Dolphins. Dramana makes it 4 in a row. They're flying at the moment. Mount Eliza were able to enjoy the Dolphins behind the VFL, getting some critical players back as they return to the winners list. Rosebud equal 4th on the ladder on percentage. Leaper Holkey accepts the Smash Smart Challenge from Tim Bongetti at Pines. And Bond Beach milestones coming up. Shane McDonald 250th and the captain Jackson Casey 200th. Welcome Holtz, welcome Blake. It's good to have you with us, boys.
Hello, buddy.
And it's great that we're wearing these beanies. It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah,
an important message to get across, isn't it?
I love a beanie.
I know you love
a
a beanie.
Yeah, it is an important message, Dan.
We need to be promoting it all the time. Now, our first guest is Mick O'Neill, who's the General Manager of the Frankston Dolphins. And Mick, great to have you with us.
That's all right.
Firstly, we'll start with these curtain raises you've got with the MPNFL over the next couple of weeks. A game on Sunday before your big game against Crackers Keenan and Gary Ayres, Port Melbourne team. Two guys I know really well. I said to Crackers, you're coming down to Frankston this week, and he said, we've got to travel from Essendon, got to travel 2.5 hours, but yeah, I'll be there.
2.5 hours.
Well, Crackers is very good at mayoing and embellishing it, boys.
We love the mayo.
As Mick and everyone would know. It's a great idea that you've decided to have these two curtain raiser matches. How did they come about?
Yeah, essentially, Dan, it came out of just some discussions over the last sort of 18 months or so about, well, for the Frankston Dolphins, we need to really build relationships with the community and local football, and also the fact that Skybus Stadium or Frankston Oval is the premier facility in the area, and it lies dormant at large parts of the year for football season. So the opportunity to showcase both VFL football and MPNFL football on the grounds, something that's been mooted for many, many years, but we're really excited to get that up and running, and the two games over the next 2 weeks should see really good crowds down at Skybus, and a couple of really good games with Frankston Bombers taking on Mount Eliza this week, and then the grand final replay next week, Pines versus Sereno, which, if it's anything like last year, which was probably the best game in 30 years at local level, it should be a cracking couple of weeks.
Do you reckon that streaker will make an appearance on that second game?
100%, yeah. They've got the kitty around at Pines, and they've got the money up. So
what's the fine, Mick, if you go out on the ground again?
Well, it probably gets covered by a GoFundMe page from what I hear, but I do know that the security
It was great entertainment.
He was.
security are looking to make up for last year. So if he's out
Are
there,
they going to bring in a few more fitter security officers? Are they?
I've actually seen one of them training, mate, and he's lightning quick.
Have you got enough beer there this time, mate? I was shattered last year.
That was in the second division.
Ran
out, didn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not. If you came to my beer tent, Hulks, none of the beer ran out. But rest assured, we put the orders in today for Sunday, and there'll be beer flowing out of every room in the social club.
Do you hope that this could become a regular thing, that you're going to have more MPNFL curtain raises before?
Yeah, absolutely, mate, and not just curtain raisers. I know Hulks will probably ask the question and say, you know,
Interleague?
Interleague, and you know, even with the stadium quality lights, the broadcast quality lights going in next year, there's the opportunities to play night games and those sorts of things.
What about the availability of the ground? You guys finish in the last week of August, is that pretty much right? So that ground would be available for all the senior finals, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it is, Tony, and you know, we set the fixture with the VFL this year. We don't play at home the last 2 weeks, so the ground is available for the full series there. But
so why wouldn't they, Dan, play the full final series down at Castro?
Well, they have to, don't they?
They try and do it to reward the local clubs a little bit and put some money back in there. But I think everyone wants to see it back at Frankston.
Yeah, but Hulks, They have it at Frankston.
You've got to have it on the, with the
they have
greatest
a-
respect
they have
to the
a-
local clubs, you've got to have it on the best facility, and if the best facility...
And they have a money
is
pool there,
the
and
Frankston
then it's
football
divided
ground.
between
Yeah.
the 10 clubs.
I agree.
Rather than one
Or the-
club get all.
Or the 12 clubs. Now, Mick, just before we let you go, how do you reckon the Dolphins are travelling this year? Are you happy with the progress?
The last 4 weeks have been more competitive, Dan, no question about that. The first 3 weeks were a bit of an eye-opener, but we're under no illusions, 0-7 to start the year, and but much more competitive, close to getting a win, and hopefully, particularly for the 2 double-headers the next 2 weeks, play Port Melbourne and North Melbourne, it might be the game that we punch through and break through for our first win of the year.
Well, it's good that you've come back. I mean, it was a tough time a couple of years ago, and people have to remember all the good AFL players that have come out of Frankston. Do you think you get enough credit for that?
Oh, I think, well, there's enough players still at AFL that have Frankston roots, and even through, say, Sammy Lloyd came through Mount Eliza in Frankston, and Matty Boyd retired sort of 18 months ago after 300 games at the Bulldogs. The club's done really well, and, you know, even the time when Blackers was there as a coach in getting people through to the next level, but we've got to find the next person, hopefully out of the local clubs, that actually punches through to VFL level and gets drafted again.
And there's been a lot that have come through, haven't they, from the MPNFL?
Wonderful.
And just indicates what a great competition it is. Mick, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck on the weekend, and also with the doubleheader the following week as well. Hopefully it's a success, and hopefully we see more of it, because I think it's exactly what the Frankston Dolphins need. It's exactly what the MPNFL needs to use, with the greatest respect, again, to the other grounds, to use the best ground in the area, which of course is Frankston Park. Mick O'Neill joining us from the Frankston Dolphins, and we thank him for being part of the show. Back with more shortly. Just before we go to a break, if your club is interested in looking at designs in your club colours, Swiss Locker is the way to go. Inbox GameFace now so we can send out some samples, thanks to our great friends at Swiss Locker. And great to be back on the MPNFL First Division Footy Show for GameFace. And Corey McCurry has joined us, one of the stars from the Frankston Bombers. Welcome, Corey. Good to have you with us.
Thanks, mate. Good to be here.
Now, you're going all right. I did say you're a bit inconsistent. I hope you don't mind me saying that. You've beaten the top team, Sorrento. You've had a good win against Edithvale Aspendale, and in the middle, got beaten by a winless Mornington.
Yeah, look, it was a pretty tough game to watch the other week down at Mornington. But yeah, like you said, inconsistent. It could be one way to put it, but you know, we've only played 3 games at home so far, and I feel we're pretty confident that if we win all our home games this year with a tight comp, we'll play finals. So
It just shows the tightness of the competition, Dan. If you're not quite on, you'll get beaten.
Great comp.
Yeah.
It is a great comp, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just don't know from one week to the next. You guys are in trouble at three-quarter time on the weekend. You took on a team who just cannot play last quarters.
Their last quarter performances, Dan, you did a bit of research on that.
Yeah, I did.
He does, yeah.
Edithvale Aspendale in last quarters this year, 6 of their last quarters, ironically, they've kicked 1 goal, 2. But totally, they've lost every last quarter, even the first game of the season when they beat Mornington. They've kicked 8, 19, 67, and they've conceded 29, 40, 214.
Wow.
Jeez, there you
Wow.
go.
That is a stat, Dan. That is
So
a
They
stat.
did
I
kick
mean-
the first goal on the weekend in the last quarter.
Were you feeling you're in trouble then?
No, I mean we went in equal in the last quarter, and I think we built over the game.
And
We sort of closed the margin.
they kicked the first goal, is that right?
Yeah, they kicked the first goal, and then we kicked the next 3, and we won. So
And you kicked all 3?
no, I kicked 2. Flex got a good one in the middle there, and I missed a couple as well.
Did you get the impression just with Edie Asp, I know you're concentrating on your own game, that their heads were dropping again, that they were losing confidence when you got, after they got the first goal and then you guys got the next 2 to hit the front,
Yeah.
that you thought you had them?
Yeah, after we actually got the first one, my player actually turned to me and said, "How the hell did you guys lose last week?" So they definitely didn't expect us to be much chop, and I think last year with the sort of criticism they gave our team and disrespect, they definitely didn't expect us to give them a.
What did they do last year, Corey? They get stuck in tears.
They had their race day after they beat us and named it Bomber Time 0 and 2. So bit of redemption for us on the weekend, because that's a bit
not bad.
arrogant if you ask me.
That's pretty
Yeah, you
good.
just can't sort of say things like that, because they will come back and bite you, won't they?
Edith, look, I went and watched a bit of that game on the weekend. They are just flat. Like, there's no passion there. There's no vigour. There's no getting around to each other. The goal kicks, there's 12 blokes drop their head and walk back to the middle. It's not a side that's
Up and about.
When it gets tough, they're going to have a crack for each
Well,
other.
it's the last quarters, as I
Yeah.
said, which are a real concern. They're just falling away badly. Big game this Sunday at Skybus Stadium in Frankston versus Mount Eliza. Curtain raiser before the Dolphins versus Port Melbourne game.
Good.
How important is that for the club?
Yeah, massive. The whole foundation's really close to the hearts of a lot of Bombers. We've had a few tragic incidences, but I think just the awareness that it brings up and how close everyone's come because of it is definitely a good thing, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, well, on the It's Not Okay to Be Okay charity, as you mentioned, I mean, do you find more guys are talking about issues, and are there guys around the club, because people are able to talk about things a bit more now, are able to pick out that someone's a bit flat, someone's struggling, and they can ask them questions and say, "You all right?"
Yeah.
And even if they'll say no, you're still keen on saying, "Come on, mate.
Yeah.
If there's something wrong, talk about it. You need to talk about it. We're here to help you."
Yeah, definitely, and I think, because of this program, the awareness has gotten even better, but we're lucky we've got a few teachers and things like that around the club, and we're obviously trained really well in that area, so there's a few of us in particular that can that try and pick it up as well, but we're a pretty close-knit bunch down there, so we definitely aren't afraid to talk to each other about things.
I mean, I've been very open about my mental health issues, and only over the last couple of years have people sort of been willing to ask me questions about it for a long time.
And talk about it with the dad.
Yeah, and they'd say, it's bad behaviour. It's not bad behaviour, it's to do with mental health, or you're struggling. Why are you flat? Life's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes life isn't as good as you want it to be. You're working very hard to make sure it's right. When you guys were playing footy, you wouldn't talk about it, would you? If someone was flat, or you might be flat, you'd say, "Gee, I've got to go out and play tonight, or I've got to go out and train tonight, or play on the weekend. I don't want to do that, but I have to do it, and I've got to be shown to be tough."
Boys, is it more to do with like social media and all that sort of stuff?
I think so.
Does that affect young people?
Do you think so,
Corey? Do you reckon?
Do you think the social media aspect has made people more open about revealing their issues, revealing their problems?
Yeah, definitely. I think people are just growing up now and they realise that males have feelings as well, and it's okay to talk about it. I think that's just the way the generation it's going, and we're just talking about things now, whereas in the past you weren't really allowed to, or people thought it was weak.
Correct.
It's not like that anymore.
No, absolutely. And we just need to, I mean, I'm big on it. We just need to, and I'll probably drive people mad about it, but you just need to keep promoting it. And just if people are having bad days, they're having bad days. Let them talk about it.
And footy clubs and the league at the moment have never been better or more proactive in doing stuff like that. It's great to see.
And they have to be. I mean, there are so many AFL players and so many elite sports people whose careers have been ruined by mental health.
Yeah.
And it's been too late for them.
One
But
person,
there are some that are able to come back because there are now the resources in place.
he got inducted into the Hall of Fame last night, Dan, was Kenny Hunter.
Yeah, correct. And he was over 20 years ago when he revealed his story, and you'd have to say that it certainly has helped him over the years, and he's going pretty well. It was fantastic to see him inducted as well. So you're playing at Skybus Stadium, the opportunity of playing there, and do you think that's good for the league to have curtain raisers before Franks and Dolphin matches? As we've said a couple of times on this show, there are two. You guys have got one this week, and then another one the following week.
Yeah, I think definitely it integrates the crowds as well. Obviously, there's a strong amount of support for local crowds and then VFL crowds, and this gives them an opportunity to come together and see what the different footy is about and how good the quality still is at local level, especially in Division 1. So, I think it's awesome, and it's nice to play on a good ground.
I think it's a great idea, Dan, and especially because there's no VFL reserve sides anymore.
Correct.
So it's always great to have a curtain raiser.
I think there should be a curtain raiser before every Dolphin
should be
home game for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll happen. If it doesn't happen this year, hopefully next year. Jared Bowman, how's he settling in?
Yeah, awesome. He played his second game on the weekend and picked up a few more disposals, and I think he ran at something like 90%. So he's definitely going to be a really good inclusion as the weeks go on. I think he was.
Where's his best position, you think?
I personally think
he's a big unit, isn't he?
Yeah, I personally think off the half-back, no one will be able to outmark him, and then his speed, he can just run it through the middle. So
does that mean if he goes to the half-back, you go more forward? That's what you're looking for?
Well, it's not really going to affect me too much anyway, but I'm not sure. I just reckon off the half-back line,
Are you confident you can beat Mount Eliza?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've had three really close games over the last 2 years against Mount Eliza and just have fallen short. Here's an opportunity. A couple of those boys will go back to the VFL this week.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, with Jared Bowman having his third game in, he's only going to get better. Someone like Alex Arnett, he's been awesome for us last 2 weeks coming back. So.
Will he go back to Frankston this week?
He'd have to.
No,
Sam Fox would be available because Sandringham have a bye, would that be right?
No, Sam Fox is Sandringham's love child at the moment, so they won't be giving him up anytime soon.
Is that right? Even though they've got the bye?
Mate, he's getting drafted at the end of the year. They're in love with him. You watch this space, mate. I believe this strong.
I haven't had the
He's
pleasure of
kicking
seeing
so
Bombers
many
yet. I'll
goals.
see them this weekend. I can't wait to see them.
Oh
this
yeah, but he's
weekend.
playing for Sandringham, so for Foxy.
He can,
No,
he
Sandringham
can really
don't-
play, can he?
Oh yeah, mate, he's incredible.
All right, thanks very much for that, Corey. Just hang in there. We'll talk more footy in just a second. We'll be back in a minute to talk about Dramana and how well they're going at the moment. They're on fire thanks to 7 Steps to Wealth, one of our great sponsors here on GameFace. This is the MPNFL First Division Footy Show for GameFace. Dan Lonigan, Chris Holcomb, Tony Blackford and Corey McCurry with us now. Corey, good photo of you here. You've been in the gym, mate. I've never been in the gym in my life. I tried to lift a weight one day and it fell on top of me. You're up from 96 to 104 kilos. You're a big unit now, son.
Yeah, I changed it. I was probably around that weight last year, except it just wasn't as well put on. So I dropped a bit and then put it back on. So yeah, I think by the sledges off the people on the sidelines, you know how well you're going. And I'm not getting called fat this year, so it's nice.
More. What did they call you, mate? I heard lasagna.
Ripped.
Yeah, I got lasagna or pasta or Guido, like anything to do with food and being Italian. So, but yeah, I'll take it all.
I love my pasta. What's your favourite pasta?
Oh,
Lasagna.
Carbonara for me. Fettuccine carbonara. I love it. But I do like a matriciana, provided there's not too much chilli. Because the last time I had that, they said, Dan, stop sweating in the food. And I was perspiring like 10 minutes. Now, Dramana have made it 4 in a row. They are going beautifully, the Tigers, at the moment. 5 goals to 1 in the third quarter, propelled them to a 46-point win over the disappointing Bond Beach. Another big challenge, Blackers, and Bond Beach failed to fire.
2 weeks ago, Hulks, you sat down there and you had Sorrento, Dramana, and there was one other. Bomb Beach had 3 really tough games over the next 3 weeks, and they folded in 2 of them.
Failed, didn't they?
Yeah.
And that's just shows that middle ground in Division 1 footy. You have no idea what you're going to get. Mentally, if you're not switched on, you're going to get pants. But it doesn't look like Bomb Beach can go with the big boys. So it looks like until they get their next challenge or have a crack at it looks like they're going to be off the pace.
Second on the ladder.
Yeah.
Dramana surprised you.
Oh, they've been amazing. Like, they have been amazing. We thought they'd be middle of the road toward the bottom. What they've done this year is fantastic.
And it's great for the competition, Dan.
Can they win it?
In this current form, they can. I don't think they'll sustain that. I think Sereno and Pines have got another gear. I think it's a bit of a 2-horse race at the moment because their best footy, Pines haven't warmed up yet. Sereno, when they're going, it's scary, and I don't think Dramana can go with them. But who knows?
Who knows?
Have they surprised you, Corey, how well they're going, Dramana?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, middle to lower end of the spectrum was what everyone thought they were going to be. But, I mean, we're only midway and it's a long season still, so it's...
They've got no depth. I reckon they've got no... You look at their reserves, they're on the bottom of the ladder.
That's right.
So they mustn't have any depth.
Their best 25, very good.
Yes.
If they're all up and about. They've got a couple of injuries, but not going too
They're
badly.
flying at the moment.
I tell you who are flying is their goal sneaks. Sam Fowler and Ethan Johnson have kicked 20 between them in the past 3 weeks. Very
You really
handy
like
players.
Sam Fowler.
Oh, I like them both. I think they're great.
EJ's a unit.
The issue I've got is their forward line tall enough? They've got Kai Whitford, who's come across from Lang Warren,
Yeah, but they're
who
doing
Sam Fowler thinks is good enough to play VFL footy.
Nobody thought Richmond could win a flag with their forward line set up, Dan.
No, that's true.
Well, there's not many 1-2 punches in Div 1 that are kicking that many goals between them.
Correct.
And EJ's getting off the chain because all the attention's going to Semi, and they just can't do it.
Yeah.
There's not many teams that have actually got two really good small backs in the comp.
But the thing is, because they're so quick, it's the taller players. We know
And
that,
most sides
we know
have to
that
structure up a bit
YCW are an
differently.
excellent defensive team, but they probably lack a small defender, don't they? They've got those medium-sized tall defenders and experienced defenders, haven't they? But with Fowler and Johnson,
Well, I see we're able
if
to get
Johnson doesn't get you, Fowler will get you and vice versa.
Wassey were able to get the job done against Dramana early in the season.
I just query their next gear. I think they need one to beat Pines and Sereno in a final,
Maybe,
and I don't know if they've got one.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they're going beautifully. They head into the bye,
they're
second
great.
on the ladder. They're doing everything right.
Fantastic.
Now, Mount Eliza was able to enjoy the Dolphins' bye in the VFL, and what that means is that Mitch McCarthy, VFL listed, named best on ground against Frankston YCW. They jumped to 4th on the ladder. YCW very lucky to get over Edie Asp the previous week. They started the season, boys, kicking goals, but they've struggled, kicking just 25 in the past 4 weeks, which Blackers and Hulks and Corey is what they were doing in the back end of last year, just getting over teams, but struggling to score goals, and it's come back to haunt them so far in the
Yeah, they
last
kicked
month
8
or
goals
so.
in the first quarter against Sorrento in round 1, and they probably are struggling to kick 8 goals in a game at the moment, Dan.
Mount Eliza inconsistent too. They've jumped to 4th on the ladder. Are they a top 5 side?
That wasn't a pretty game.
They'll be thereabouts, but you know they're going to have to heavily rely on McCarthy and Turnbull coming back from Frankston.
Well, talking of Robbie Turnbull, Plugger caught up with him in the YCW rooms after the match.
7 steps to 12, the GameFace post-game wrap-up, and with Robbie Turnbull tonight after a big win against Frankston YCW, a scrappy one, but an 18-point win. Pretty happy with that, mate?
Yeah, we were pretty happy. Defended really well. Mids went to work, probably struggled going forward a little bit at times. But yeah, to get the 4 points, we really needed it for the ladder position, so pretty happy.
What do you think made the game so low scoring? Was it the weather? Was it anything in particular?
There was a lot of pressure around the contest, which meant some of the forward 50 entries weren't too flash. But I think both teams got pretty unlucky going forward a couple of times. Just a hand gets in the way, or something gets in the way of someone else, and all of a sudden you're not having a shot on goal that you should. So yeah, that's probably why.
You spent most of the time of this year in the Frankston Dolphins squad, mate. You've had the bye this week, and it's landed you in the team for Mount Eliza. How much do you enjoy coming back to play where you play your local footy usually?
Yeah, I love coming back here. A lot of people ask, what's it like, and it's honestly the best scenario for me. If I'm not playing up and developing myself, I come back and I play with my best mates. So I love that there's kind of no second tier in the VFL anymore. But yeah, it is a big jump. So just trying to work on a few things when I come back to local that they've set for me. So
how different is it coming back and playing local footy after being, in the VFL for the start of the year?
Yeah, it is different. VFL footy is a lot of system footy, so you got to know your role. It's very organised, whereas you can come back to local and it's very contested, a bit more contested. Not saying that VFL's not contested, but yeah, I play half forward there, so good to spend a bit more time in the midfield, get a bit more of the ball down here. So yeah,
awesome. Well, glad to see you enjoyed your stint back at Mount Eliza, mate. Hopefully you'll be back in the Dolphins next week, but enjoy the 18-point win against Frankston YCW.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
And good to have your company on the GameFace First Division MPNFL Footy Show. Corey McCurry's our special guest from the Frankston Bombers, who've got a big game this week, a curtain raiser at Frankston Park before the VFL match involving the Frankston Dolphins and Port Melbourne Borough, coached by Gary Ayres for about the 100th year. And the assistant is the great Peter Crackers Keenan. Chris Holcomb's with us, Tony Blackford as well, and X-Golf are with us as well, a major sponsor. And we thank our major sponsor, X-Golf, as we have a look at how round 4 of the X-Golf Mornington Cup went on Monday night. A number of MPNFL players playing in that. Let's see how James Brain, James Hogan-Keogh from Hastings, and a late call-up, Nathan McDonald from Kringle, went on Monday night as Paul Wilson made his way down there to have a chat to the boys. Well, g'day folks, welcome here to X-Golf Mornington Cup presented by GameFace. I've got James Brain down here, mate. How are you, son?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Oh, very good, mate. So we're down here for the X-Golf Mornington Cup. We've got players from every club. Now, you're a Chelsea man?
Yep. Yeah, I was not many blokes putting their hand up, so I had to come down and pull the weight for the club.
How you going, mate?
Yeah, all right. I don't mind just hitting one down the middle, but yeah, I don't know, it's a bit of a different concept. I haven't been here before, so looking forward to it.
I noticed before you got the warm-ups, mate, you went straight for the longest drive, not nearest the pins.
Yeah, just trying to get some anchor out from the weekend. Yeah, there's plenty of that from the weekend, so yeah, no, it's good.
And the nearest the pin, how do you get out of that against the ball?
Hopefully if I fluke one, that's obviously the goal here. Yeah, let's see how we go.
And getting back to last week's game, we did the GameFace call there through Red Hill and Chelsea there. Started off all right, you just couldn't get the ball.
Yeah, I was probably just too good in the end, I think. They just really suffocated us and we couldn't get any free footy on that small oval there at Chelsea at home. And yeah, they're definitely the benchmark and hopefully we can improve and we can come back and have another crack at them.
All right, mate. Well, good luck tonight. We've got a few other boys down here up from Hastings and also from Karingal down here. So good luck and hope you might be speaking later on and we'll win later on.
Thank you. Cheers.
Next up, James Brain, Chelsea. Not a bad shot. Not a bad shot. Walking high. 0.9. And welcome folks down again to X-Golf here in Mornington for the GameFace Challenge here. We've got James Hogan Keogh with us. Mate, ready for golf today?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Now notice you're down the left-hand side of the club. Left-hand side?
No, I stay on the right. Well, I'm a left-handed, but I stay on the right-hand side of the ball.
What do you do both?
Nah. If you're left-handed, you stand on the left hand. You stand on the right-hand side of the ball. Technically, so I'm a right-handed technically.
Technically you're right-handed, but you play left.
Yeah.
That's good. And are you going to go, mate, tonight?
Oh, alright, I guess.
You play a bit?
Yeah, play a bit.
Where do you play it?
I play at Cerberus and Moona.
Good track, man. Been down there a few times myself. Handicap?
6. Should be a lot better, but
Work?
Yeah.
And footy?
Working footy, yeah.
So you're under 19 play over there?
Yeah.
Going alright?
Yeah, going alright.
Get the kick?
Yeah, every now and then.
And good luck tonight, mate, for the big challenge here. I reckon you have a chance playing off 6.
Thank you.
Consistent. 6.5. And another player down here, the X-Golf Mornington Cup for the GameFace there. We've got Nathan McDonald. Welcome, Nathan Kringle.
Thank you.
So, mate, golf, do you like it?
Yeah, don't mind it. I've been a member at Mornington for a few years now, so I live down here. So, yeah.
You been here before, mate?
Yeah, been here a couple of times. The club were down here a few weeks ago, so.
And you like it?
Yeah, love it. Good fun.
And you stand on the wrong side of the ball, mate, I see.
Yeah, another lefty, so there's a couple of us here tonight, so it should be good.
So you just had a little practice there, get
a little practice there, so should be alright.
I reckon you'll knock it off, mate?
We'll see how we go.
Be good if you do, good for the club.
Yeah, hopefully. Should be a good night if we get the win, so that'll be good.
All right, mate, good luck later on.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks.
Have a look at that shot. Have a look at that shot. Well, Nathan, mate, how good was that, son? 1.17 metre.
Yeah, I think I might have fluked that one, to be honest.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I might have pulled that out the old, pulled that one out. That's all right.
I tell you what, that'll be very hard to beat for the X-Golf Challenge here through GameFace, mate. I think you're the leaderboard, and all the other guys, they had some great shots there too, but your shot there had topped the leaderboard there.
Yeah, a bit of a fluke, I think, but yeah, hopefully it can hang on and we can have a good night out here with the boys. Yeah, cheers.
Well done, mate. Great golf.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the year.
Cheers, appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, we were given homework, the panel this week, to come up with our top 10 player rankings after round 8 in the MPNFL First Division and also Second Division. Looking at Division 1, again, I'll put a caveat on this, Corey, Chris and Tony. I haven't seen all the teams play yet, so I haven't got any of your boys in yet, Corey, because I'm really looking forward to seeing the Bombers. It'll be a match of the day against Mount Eliza on Sunday. I haven't seen Mount Eliza play either. So this is my top 10. Shane McDonald from Bond Beach, outstanding when he's on. Mitch Hallahan, number 2, Russell Gabriel, Sean Downey, Lee Paholke, Matt LaFontaine, James Hallahan, Billy Quigley, Trent Dennis Lane and Sam Fowler.
All good players, Dan.
I like
all good players.
I like how he throws in a little excuse. Like, so this is
Yeah,
my top 10, but I haven't seen this.
Bit of a cop out, really.
Well, it is a cop out. It is a cop out. But I haven't seen everyone yet. And I'll say, well, what about this guy? What about this guy?
That's what we want him to do. That's
Well, I just got to say, Harry Pryor yet to be beaten in the ruck all year.
Yeah,
He's had
been phenomenal.
Well, we might do it next week too. But the other boys.
No, Harry has been good, and he was really good against Sereno that day.
Chris has gone Shane McDonald, Mitch Hallahan, Russell Gabriel, Matt LaFontaine, Sean Downey from Rosebud's having a brilliant year. He was good in the interleague match too. Robbie Turnbull's the star. We know that from Mount Eliza, but I haven't seen him play yet. Sam Gertz, Byron Barry, Luke Potts from Pines, and Lee Paholke. That's a pretty good top 10.
I only went Russell Gabriel, and I agree with you. I didn't.
His game against Bond Beach.
I didn't know much about Harry before the year. He's been in cracking form. He's just outside there. But Russell
He was
Gabriel,
11 though for you, wasn't he?
If you watch him tackle, he's got to be the best tackler in the league, I reckon. His closing speed, and he hurts. Like, he tackled me a few years ago, it hurts.
Yeah,
you don't want to get tackled by him.
But
You watch this week.
Well, I've got Harry Pryor 10.5.
No.
You happy with that?
Russell Gabriel, hang on, just on that, because Russell Gabriel, he's having a stellar year at Pines. So they were on the top of the ladder 2 weeks ago. He's been in the best couple every single game bar one for Pines. So hard to get past him.
Yeah, well, you need a decent ruckman, don't you? And he's been brilliant for them. Now, Blackers.
Oh, big tone.
Mitch Hallahan at 1. Shane McDonald at 2. Yes. Either way, I think. Lee Paholke having a brilliant year. Luke Potts at 4. Sam Gertz at 5. What a great year he's having. Sean Downey 6. Matt LaFontaine enjoying his work. Shane Tennant from Mount Eliza has been in good form. Same with Russell Gabriel in recent weeks, as we mentioned, and Robbie Turnbull also from Mount Eliza. If he can play more footy for Mount Eliza, it helps their cause. Are you expecting him to play for Mount Eliza this week, Corey? Or do you think he'll be in Frankston's team?
I reckon he'll probably be in Frankston. I haven't personally thought too much about it.
I'll tell you this with that list.
Thanks for that.
If Alex Arnett had played more than 2 games, he'd be number 3 on that list. His last 2 weeks at Frankston Bombers.
Phenomenal. Yeah, he was awesome last
He's a special player. Very special.
I think he got over 30 looking at the stats.
Well, the week before he had over 30 and kicked 4 against Mornington in a losing side.
Yeah.
So if he has 1 or 2 more games, he moves just behind the top 2, I reckon. It's a little bit of a golf.
And he's a bit like Turnbull, isn't he? You know, just
Turnbull's played 4 or 5, but the thing you got to remember about Robbie is that Nick Clarenbold never puts him in best. He has 40 touches and he gets left out.
Yeah,
So
and he's been a massive difference
Yeah.
while
So
Mount Eliza's winning games.
I think it's good for your footy club if players go up. I understand you want to keep your best players down, but if they go up and they're getting an opportunity to better themselves, I understand it's all about trying to win. And I know Mount Eliza have won a lot of reserves and under-19s, and they want to win a senior premiership.
I noticed on the weekend, YCW reserves beat Mount Eliza reserves.
Gee, that hasn't happened too often. Now, we need to talk about another charity that GameFace is involved in. We've got, of course, our beanies on tonight. It's okay not to be okay, but we're also involved in a very special charity, which we went down and spoke to the Pines Footy Club last week, called Smash Smart Challenge.
That's what it stands.
Tim Bongetti got us involved in that because a family friend, a young couple, a very sad story, Dean and Crystal from Brisbane, had a young son, Jovi, in November last year. He was going all right in the first 3 weeks, and on Christmas Eve, he fainted. Sadly, he didn't recover. It was found that he had spinal muscular atrophy with respiratory distress, hence SMARD. And it is a very rare disease. There's only 6 cases of it in Australia. His parents, as you often have heard, guys with conditions, are carriers, and there's a 1 in 4 chance of their child actually having the disease. And Jovi, their first child, had the disease and subsequently
and they didn't
has
know,
died.
Dan.
If they are to have children again, I think they'll have to go through
Testing.
the IVF program. So what we've done is Tim Bongetti, through both Dean and Crystal, they've set up the charity, and you can donate to www.smashmard.org. And what we're doing is we're asking sporting clubs to get some whipped cream on a little plastic plate and just smash it in each other's faces. I went down to Pines last week and I was standing there minding my own business and got smashed in the face after Paddy Swain, Bo Hendry and also Tim Bongetti were involved in it. And Tim Bongetti has asked Lee Paholke and the Sorrento boys to get involved. Let's hear to Tim Bongetti actually calling Lee Paholke a good bloke, and then we'll come up with the answer after this.
I would love to nominate for the next person to do this cream challenge. I'd love to get Lee Paholke and the Sorrento Footy Club. We've had that, great rivalry last year, and things like this obviously bring communities and bring a sport to good use. So Lee, if you, Lukey Tapscott and a few of the boys down there, mate, could jump on board and let's get this fundraising going for such a small charity and get the awareness out there of the SMARD Foundation.
And don't forget the website again if you want to donate at www.smashmard.org.
Hey, Dad, how slow are you?
And Lee Paholke has accepted the challenge, so congratulations to him. And the next step is for him then to ask maybe another football club or another person from another football club, maybe you, Corey, to get involved in it, and then we'll continue to raise funds. Again, that particular charity is www.smashmard.org, and we need to get right behind it because it is obviously a very rare disease, and we wish Dean and Crystal all the best because it's a real battle for them at the moment. Now, Bomb Beach stars embark on individual milestones. Shane McDonald, 250, what a player he's been. Jackson Casey, who refused to shake hands with Sorrento the other week, 200 games. A couple of excellent players, but obviously they need to lift, boys, don't they?
Did anything come out of that last week, Dan? Or
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, they do need to lift, and this is a great opportunity for them to lift.
You still must shake hands at the end of the game, whether
I don't
you're
think
angry
they're
with your opponent or not.
Are they playing this week?
Oh, it depends who it is. Depends who it is.
At the times you haven't.
Oh, if they whack you during the game, you know, shake hands with them. If it's
Don't
not
you?
fair, no, if it's not fair, then I'm not going to shake hands with you. I haven't personally done it, but
No, I wouldn't have thought you'd be the sort of guy that would do it. If your team's won, you'd have a smile on your face. If your team's lost, you'd have a smile on your face and say, well done, mate, and then you'd be disappointed. I just think you've got a great disposition about you, but I still think you've got to shake hands. But great milestones for those two guys.
Oh, wonderful. I don't think that... Do they play this week, Bomb Beach?
I don't think they do. No,
I don't think so.
So that's coming up in a couple of weeks' time, but fantastic performance by those two guys. But Bomb Beach are 4-4, equal fourth on percentage, and will enjoy the bye to regroup, and they urgently need to regroup.
They should win those next four, I'd reckon, if they're fair income top 3-4 side. I know Frankston Bombers are coming hard, but you're not sure with form. YC are done. They can't kick a goal. Rosebud, they're going.
Well, they're
right.
playing
They're
good
going
footy,
well,
Rose.
Rosebud.
Bloody oath they
At
are.
home in particular.
Well, you still think that should beat them, and
Yeah.
then Edith Vale, what are they going to do? I don't know.
Who knows where Edith Vale will be in a few weeks' time.
I think they'll be back in the top four in 4 weeks.
You reckon?
Who?
Yeah, Bomb Beach.
Oh, I thought you said
Edith Vale.
No, Bomb Beach. We're talking about Bomb Beach,
I was
mate.
thinking, gee.
Jesus, Dan, you're on fire.
I was
tonight,
getting
mate.
worried about that. Sorrento, Dramana, top two. Pines third. Mount Eliza fourth. Frankston YCW but battling in fifth. They've got a good percentage because they're very good at defending, but they're not scoring goals, as we mentioned. Then Bomb Beach, Rosebud, who are playing some good footy. Frankston Bombers again behind, but a chance to draw a bit closer to the top five if they can beat Mount Eliza and make it 3 from 4 this week. Eddie Asp, we know, are really struggling, having dropped their last 7, and Mornington on the bottom of the table. But I thought we're pretty competitive against Sorrento on the weekend, Chris, for at least 3 quarters.
Probably the weekend's the first time they've got a sniff to Edith Vale going on that poorly that they might climb off the bottom. They've got a game in 2 or 3 weeks, I think, with Edith
Against
Vale
each other, yeah.
at Mornington.
Which could decide who'll finish on the bottom.
Could.
But it is a very tight competition. Corey, great to have you with us. Keep getting behind. It's okay not to be okay. You do a great job for that charity, and as does your football club. We're looking forward to Sunday broadcasting the big game for GameFace at Frankston Park between, of course, the curtain raiser before the Frankston Port Melbourne match in the VFL, the game between the Frankston Bombers and Mount Eliza. Thanks, Hulks. Thanks, Blackers. It's been
Thanks, Dan.
fun.
Great to
We'll
catch up.
you next week with more GameFace Footy Show. Get your GameFace on.